And so we started running ads on some podcasts and had a lot of success. In January of this year, we were at $10,000. We're sitting north of $1 million already. And it's been a very quick growth.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Untapped with UpSmith. I am thrilled to be joined today by Sam Preston. Sam is the CEO of Service Scalers. They are a world-class marketing partner to home service companies all over the place. And Sam, I am thrilled to have you aboard.
I am pumped. Let's do this. I'm really excited.
So let's just start by letting people know about Service Scalers. Give us the high level on what you're up to and what your mission is.
Yeah, Service Scalers is a home service marketing agency. We help people grow via Google mostly. So think, LSA, Google Ads, GMB, SEO to beautiful high converting website, and help drive more leads that turn into appointment, turn into revenue. That's the main game.
I love that. Every contractor I talk to is trying to win this game and figure out ways to get more high quality leads in the top of the funnel. Tell us about that problem. What are you seeing right now across the market?
I mean, across the market, it specifically with where we're going from summer into fall, there's always that awkward season. So we're seeing a dip of leads across almost the entire market, which most of the time means people are running to agencies to start fix that problem. And sometimes that you need an agency to come and fix it. And sometimes it's you just need to suffer through that awkward get into winter time before you start seeing leads come back through. But yeah, I think that's an issue. I think knowing tracking through your entire funnel is a big issue that we see a lot of time where agency or internal marketing will say, hey, we're driving you a lot of leads, but they're not. They're just driving you an event that's not turning into revenue. And then we work with obviously just the goal of trying to take that next step, right? How do you go from 3 trucks to 5 trucks and keep your team busy? The worst thing for an entrepreneur or a business owner of a home service company is their tech sitting around on their hands or going home early because there's not enough work. And so the goal there is to help solve that problem.
I know that it's a really important problem because I talk to customers all the time who are looking to solve it. I'd love to learn about how you came to this and just start back as tell me about Sam as a kid. What were you like? Where'd you grow up? What was that experience?
Yeah, it's good to surprise you. I grew up in the Colony, Texas, right outside of Dallas. Before it was anything, now it's massive because everyone's moved there, which is absurd. And graduated, went to college, dropped out, met my wife, decided, all right, yeah, before she realizes that she's leveling down to marry me, I'm going to lock this down. So got married. We were going to do the whole, you go to college, get your degree, get a job, and then I will. And so I was working as a warehouse worker, just doing labeling boxes, living boxes, all that kind of game. And then I had a friend who had a was in a bigger leadership position at a app development company called Bottle Rocket. And that's where I was able to get in as a junior project manager and starting to learn business. So I say that to say, I never went to college, so didn't go to college, still hope for you. It's going to be okay. So I got to work some cool apps, learned the project management, how to hold people accountable, how to get projects done in a timely fashion, how to work with difficult people, to get, things out of them, even though they had a lot of priorities, things like that, how to lead a team. From there, wanted to learn sales. So from there, I went to a software company called Ambassador, where I learned outbound marketing and webinars and things like that. As I was doing outbound, I was making a lot of money. We were doing really great. When they transitioned me into doing webinars, my commission tanked. And so I decided I need to go figure out something else. I went to a networking meeting where someone needed a website. And so I rose my hand and said, yeah, I'll build you a website. I got this, I could figure it out. And took that $500, paid somebody to teach me how to build a website, and built them a little Wix website. Still proud of that today. From there, decided I could build an agency, right? And I want to do agency in the box. I'll do everything for you: affiliate marketing, influencers, Facebook ads, Google ads, websites, SEO. You name it, I would do it. And hated myself for that decision. That was a really bad one. Sold some large contracts. Did an okay job, but I wasn't building anything that I could scale or grow. It would be similar to, someone deciding that they were going to be, build a house. And they're like, yeah, I can go build this house for you. One man show. It's like not like you need specialists in each individual aspect of a home. So turn that down, build that down, burnt that down, one of those words, and then decided that I want to try it again, but just do PPC. And so I built a PPC agency called Get Looker Leads, pushed that to $1 million, brought on some partners, ended up building a content agency, a PPC agency, a website, just individual services, which led me to Service Scalers. I had all these individual services, but I didn't have a bench. I didn't have people that I was working with, individual owners. And so we, this past year, decided we were to test out some ads in the home service business. And so we started running ads on some podcasts and had a lot of success. In January of this year, we were at $10,000. We're sitting north of $1 million already. And it's been a very quick growth. There has been a massive, and I think that's the big thing. It's like we've noticed there's such a big need in this market for agencies to drive leads and do what they say they're going to do. And so that was the long-winded version. I hope that's what you were wanting from that, but I'm going to
awesome.
use.
Well, that's awesome. No, that's awesome. So for somebody that's not as familiar with your industry, PPC means pay-per-click. Talk to people a little bit about like that model relative to other models for how you can run one of these businesses.
Yeah. So pay-per-click is, or PPC, Google Ads, is basically the effect of like using Google tools to run ads on keywords, right? So if you are looking for, if you're a plumber, then you might want to run a ad on a keyword or search of plumbers near me or plumbers in my area. And so when someone searches that in Google, we put your ad up and then they click it, come to your website and convert into a phone call or a lead form. Our job is to watch to see how those keywords turn into appointments. And so if we notice plumbers near me doesn't actually turn into appointments for you, we kill it and we try something else. Maybe it's like a specific need. Hey, I've got this leak here or leak in my roof. What do I do? So we just keep testing until you find the keyword that actually drives you a point.
Yep. And so let's take the hypothetical. I'm a plumber. I'm in Dallas. I'm running a really, a modest shop. I've got 2 or 3 trucks that I'm out there with. If I wanted to show up in the search results for plumbers near me in Dallas, what does something like that cost?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I don't know. I do know we have a plumber in Dallas, so I could go find out that information for you. But I mean, that could that click can cost anywhere from $5 to $10 to $25. So if we're doing quick math, right? And let's say $10 just for easy math. You need, and then you have a 10% conversion rate on your website, which means every single time somebody comes to your website, 10% of that is going to turn into a lead. Then every 10 clicks or $100 that you spend, you'll drive 1 lead. Did that math make sense?
It makes sense. It makes sense. So if your average ticket is $1,000 on a service call, then $100 of customer acquisition makes a ton of sense. If it gets to $100 per click, you're in a tougher spot. So I can totally appreciate the dynamic there. What are the variables that drive price? How does that shake out when you're attempting to keyword optimize?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's all going to be about competition. Like, how much is somebody else willing to spend on that? When I work with these bigger companies, they almost want to try to price out smaller companies. And so they do a lot of like, yeah, we're willing to spend, $100 a lead. No, we'll do $200 a lead because we know we'll win on the long run. And so when I work with a smaller company, my job is really to keep that cost per click down, right? Because if I get then $10 to $5 and get you $50 leads versus $100 leads, now we're cooking with fire. And so the big things that are going to make it pricey is, one, how much that costs per click, and then two, what is that conversion rate? On your website, if you've got a 10% conversion rate versus a 5% conversion rate, it makes a big difference. For companies that have a need versus a want, that conversion rate is almost always higher, right? So if you get a plumber, water's literally leaking onto their head. They need you to come out and do it right now. Emergency HVAC units when it's hot or cold, that's always going to be an easier game than something like, windows, or I guess unless you have a broken window, that's a pretty big need. But like, if it's just like a change out or something like that, brew is going to be a harder game, gets a little bit more expensive.
And if I was advising one of these companies and, I was one of your junior folks on your product team, I'd be thinking to myself, gosh, what's a problem that the end customer is facing that I could get ahead of that way that they frame the problem? So maybe instead of like plumbers near me, it's like, how do I fix a clogged toilet? Or how do I deal with, a water line issue? And so if you are the response that shows up as an ad to that question on a DIY, maybe that's a less expensive click, possibly. How does that shake out?
Yeah, that's a great point. And that's exactly what we do. So like, obviously plumbers near me is such a high intent. Like the person that's looking for that is looking for somebody to come do work on their house right now. So the cost per click is going to be higher. Whereas something like, hey, I've got a clogged toilet. What do I do? You kind of want to drive people to a really good landing page that answers their question, but that they get so frustrated with like, look, I don't have time for this. I just want somebody to do it. Kind of response. And so on those strategies, so there's different, because it's PPC, there's different bidding strategies. On those like high funnel intent keywords, we try to do things like max clicks or maximize the clicks that are going to come through. That keeps that cost per click way down. Like think like 29 cents, 30 cents type of thing. So you get a high volume because not all of those are going to turn into clients, which means sometimes we can get it, still really good conversion rate and a cost per lead.
Makes sense. Cool. So if I'm out there and I'm trying to think through how do I work with a digital marketing agency, like what's the usual process someone goes through to find you guys?
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of different ways. I would almost always suggest finding somebody that you've heard of or a referral. Go ask other people and say like, hey, like, are these people any good? Because there's, agencies are a used car salesman. There's a million people. There's literally no barrier to entry to saying, hey, I'm a marketing agency and I could do this for you, right? So you want to find people that like and trust. So I would suggest asking, trace people around. Hey, who have you used? Are they good at this? And then bringing that person on. And then I would also encourage you to have treat them like a vendor, right? I would say like, we've got lots of clients. The clients that have regular meetings almost always get better results. And it's because they're like, oh, hey, the team, they have enough, all their tasks that they have to get accomplished. But when they know they've got a meeting coming up this week, they're like, oh, I need to make sure I get this stuff done so that when I meet, we see the results. So highly suggest having regular meetings once a month is a good time frame with your vendors, holding them accountable to those results and things that they say they're going to do. And then I think we could, if you want to go details on like what type of marketing should we start with, like we could talk that if you'd like.
Yeah. I think your insight there around like set up a process, their extension of your team, hold them accountable is really well said, because I think the best service providers want to be held accountable because they trust they're going to be able to deliver, right? So like, let's have the meeting because I can show you the numbers and the numbers are going to speak for themselves. That's certainly how we think about it, right? It's so, when you're thinking about like, cool, like we're working together, Chris, how you get started, what does that look like?
Get started with like us.
Yeah. So like you're getting started. What's the feel if I'm out there and I'm kind of trying to imagine what it's going to be like? What is that experience?
Yeah. So when, someone's looking to add in, let's say Google ads, right? And they're like, hey, Sam, can we do this? First off, we want to look at it and make sure that we can actually produce results for you. If you're in a field that we've never worked with before, or something that we're not sure that we're going to drive leads, we want to make sure we get in front of that because we want to have everyone that joins us have a good experience. Two is we set up a kickoff meeting. And so you come on and we dive deep into who you are as a business, right? Who's your audience? What services you serve? What do you not serve? And make sure that we understand your business and your products and services. From there, we actually have a really tight schedule. So Tuesdays build, Wednesdays QA, Thursday we do revisions and send you over the build. It's in this Google sheet so that you can actually like look through and make sure like you don't have to learn Google ads. Just take the Google sheet, make sure the keywords, headlines make sense. Friday, we build everything else out. We do a tracking, conversion, QA, and then we're live by Monday. There's a lot of variations there. Like if you already have an account set up, that might take a little bit of a different variation, but that build process is pretty straightforward. Now, once you've launched your Google ads, there's about a week of Google, they call it the learning phase. We can't touch the account. Your agency that you're using, your internal team can't touch the account. It'll be about 5 days. We're just waiting for it. And then after that, the next 2 weeks, it's all about getting people to see your ad and click on your ad. So impressions and clicks. And then you're already into month 2. Like it's pretty quick. And then the goal is to find keywords that drive conversion, keep putting more money behind the ones that win and killing the losers.
There you go. Well, we think at UpSmith all the time about productivity, and I love how you guys are thinking about productivity also from like a return on every dollar that someone spends, because they're really precious. And yeah, so then you think through like the process. That call gets booked. The customer is expecting a technician to show up and deliver a service. When you look through and see like what the success rate looks like, and did it win or lose, what do you see as like the biggest variables that ultimately impact whether or not revenue shows up for the contractor?
Yeah, I mean, obviously intent is going to be the biggest thing, right? And so if somebody comes in looking for like, hey, can you repair broken glass, versus, hey, I want to reinstall a window, right? Like that, like the chances are is just very different there. I think that, so from our angle is we're looking for like, does the query match up for what the tech is actually trying to sell? And so that's the first part. 2 is obviously just answering the phone and showing up and doing the job, right? There are industries where, in different areas where people struggle to get people to show up. And so like, making sure that your team shows up, is a big deal. And then 3rd, making sure you do a good job educating your customers while you're on site, right? Giving them the, good, better, best options for the solve of the problem. Educate them, make sure that they understand which service is best to kind of go with, and then doing a good job. Yeah, I would say that.
I think that's pretty good advice. So I'll play back what I heard you say. So item 1 was frame it the right way, like be able to signal what problem you help solve, and then key on the intent where it's highest.
Yeah.
Have your people do their job. So, meet the expectation of showing up to deliver on the thing you said you were going to do as a service provider, and then do your job well when you get there. So listen well to the customer, give them the options that could help to resolve their problem, educate them about the trade-offs between the routes they can go, and then once they pick what they want, go and execute it. That sounds like the game plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Because ultimately, this game is going to be a review game. If you can get more reviews, you will keep building. If you can't get good reviews, you keep getting bad. Doesn't matter how good your marketing agency is or your internal team is on driving you leads. Like, people are going to choose somebody else. And so doing a good job getting that review is going to be massive.
Amen. I think when we look at that problem from our perspective at UpSmith, a lot of it is around like, how do you motivate, recognize, and then reward the best practice adherence of your technician in the field? And what's cool is there's so much data now about how someone is performing, and that is trackable, and you can query that to be able to say, Sam is a killer. He is out there just delivering it the right way every time. And so we think hard about how you can take that data, transform it, and then shoot it back out to Sam and give him a virtual high five of sorts through points or other types of progression on leaderboards, things that gamify Sam's experience. You talk to lots of different contractors. Like, what are you hearing from them about how they experiment with technology on things like that around service delivery?
Yeah, I think I could talk a little bit about my internal team on the incentives real quick, and then we can go into that. So on my internal team, one of the things that was a big change for us is I was just tracking how many clients an account manager have is how many churns that they have. And for the longest time, that's where they were rewarded. You did a good job if you didn't lose clients. But the problem with that is that the lag is an indicator of success, right? Like, by the time we lost them, we just had no idea, like, oh, wow, there was a problem here. Let's go fix that. So we switched that and started to incentivize our internal team based on their ability to get our clients to lead. And when they did, their bonuses came from that. And so suddenly we didn't have this big mature problem because clients were getting leads, because that's what the incentive, like, everybody was aligned. So the client was happy, the team was happy, everybody's excited once they get that lead. And so I would say that the same thing is making sure that your team is getting bonus based on the data points that drive the end success and is a leading indicator of success in your business. So I would say that is one. Two, holding people accountable is big. And so the way we solve this problem is actually we copy and pasted what John Wilson's doing over at the Wilson Company. So, not my brilliant idea, but we started doing daily huddles. And so every morning, the marketing, sales, fulfillment, and recruitment get to a meeting. They report their numbers. How many leads do we drive? How many sales do we drive? How many clients are on track to fulfilling their needs, and how many jobs are open, and how many people are we hiring? And so I found that the public accountability, when they had to give their answers to each other and go like, this is where we're at, made a really big difference on seeing traction inside my business. And obviously John found that too.
Yeah, John's great. Yeah, we had John on the Untapped with UpSmith podcast recently, and I think that his focus on execution is really impressive. And so shout out to John. If you're listening, I think he also is really great about building in public, and the Owned and Operated podcast is a great place to learn about strategies for running service companies. So would commend that one too.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, love that. Yeah, John's awesome.
That's right. Okay, cool. I would love to get a little bit of a lightning round going with you here on advice and learning. So I'll frame a quick question, like whatever comes to mind first. Let us know, and we'll learn from you together here. So first one, book you read recently or at some point in your life that changed your behavior in some way and you would commend to others.
Yeah, well, just happens to be right here. This output thinking by, I'm just going to butcher this, John Cipher. I want to say he's on Twitter. Yeah, really cool guy. But it's all about thinking about outputs. So when you build an org chart, you go, director of marketing. What do? They do marketing stuff. They're in charge of the marketing. But the problem with that is it's vague. Like, it's hard to replace when you're scaling, versus director of marketing's job is leads, this many leads, this many, this output, this output. So if they leave, you're not replacing a person, you're replacing an output. And so big fan of this. I'm like 90% through. So highly recommend.
All right. I love it. Focus on the output. That's great. If you were to go back in time and give advice to your past self from your present self, what counsel would you offer?
Go to college. Just kidding. No. I would not have taken out that first college loan. I don't know. Like, that's such a good question. I keep trying, stay positive, have confidence in yourself. I think that's one of the things that I've learned over the last year that's changed from my previous self. I used to think of myself as good at what I did, but not great. And I used to point at others thinking like, oh, I'm a point guard trying to get like the all-star the ball. And it wasn't until recently that I just started thinking in my mind, I'm actually really dang good at this. And, of course, I'm not the best in this area, but what I'm really good at, I'm good at. And I want to keeping that confidence and bring other people around me. I think it's made a big difference in just like my overall happiness and confidence and in success and service scales and everything we're doing.
Productivity hacks, something you do that helps you produce more as a human.
One of the things I've been practicing lately is waking up early and starting my morning with a big glass of water and all the props. Big glass of water. I read for 25 minutes and I do a little meditation. I feel like that's really helps me set up my day. And then, time blocking, I think, is pretty big, specifically for a CEO. Like, I get pulled in so many directions. So like making sure I'm blocking off time to get the thing I need to get done that day. For an outlet.
When you think about other places you go to get better, podcasts you listen to, people you follow on Twitter or X, any recommendations there of good follows or good listens that you would put out there?
That's a great question. UpSmith podcast, you should definitely start listening to. I was actually listening to it in the last couple of days to preparing for this, and it's great content. So I would say that, the best places I get to learn and grow is obviously with friends. So finding other agency owners, other partners in this field, feeling willing to have vulnerable conversations of like, hey, we're good at this, but we're not like really great at this. How do I get better at this? And also giving advice. Like, that's always what's worked best out for me. But I'm a big reader. And so there's so many good books. Just keep reading. You'll find.
Hit me with one more. I love the focus on the output. What else is on your list?
I'm reading, I'm going to butcher it. Small Giants. That's on my phone. Hold on.
Totally. Go to the list.
Yeah, we're just going to be on Giants. Small Giants, companies that choose to be great instead of big. Something I'm working on. It's something we practice. Like, I've actually pulled back on how fast we can grow, because we've grown pretty fast over the last 8 months. And I would be careful. Like, I don't want to grow too fast to where we actually end up having fulfillment issues and the same issues that these bigger agencies are having and why people are moving away. And so this one's about making those decisions to not take the investment, to maybe don't sell your business. Because this is what you love doing. You sell, you're like, okay, now what do I do? So it's all about like, how do you make decisions that actually align with your goals to keep you going? And so that's what I'm listening to in podcasts.
That's good.
Yeah. And if you want to get your nerdy, I've got so many fantasies, so like that's my jam. So on my downtime, that's where I'm really getting into it. Yeah.
Let's go. I love it. People listening to this who want to learn more about how to collaborate with you, support what you're working on, how can they find you?
Find me on Twitter at Sam Preston. That's probably the best place to find me. Let's jam. DM's open. Would love to have a good conversation about what you could be doing more in marketing, or how do you grow, or how do you go from like 10 leads a week to 20 leads a week, or whatever problem that you might have.
That's great. Well, I know there's lots of people listening to this who definitely have that need, so I encourage them to give you a call, check you out. Sam, it's awesome to meet. Thank you very much for being on the Untapped with UpSmith podcast, where we're helping to find ways to drive workforce productivity across the trades. What you're doing is super important, and grateful to know you.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me. And excited to be just a part of this. So thank you.
We'll catch you next time. Take care.
All right.
See ya.